Yeah, so this is an 1862 model Gatling gun on a tripod. In 1862, they were mostly mounted wheeled carriages like the Civil War cannons. Dr. Gatling was a doctor in Indianapolis during the Civil War, and he saw a lot of men coming back sick, not wounded. He realized part of the problem was there was a spread of disease because there was poor sanitation and too many people. And he was an inventor, and he said, what if I can come up with a way to make a weapon that will do the work of multiple men? And we won't have to have as many men in the field. And this is what he came up with. It's the Gatling gun, invented November 4th, 1862, and patented. And it didn't really change warfare in the way that he thought it would. He couldn't get the U.S. government to buy them. The U.S. government didn't think it would be useful, thought it would be wasteful, but one particular U.S. general purchased 12 of them out of his own money, which was great, especially for Gatling. But the factory burned down, and all 12 guns burned down. So Gatling had to go back to the drawing board, build 12 more, and deliver them. And they were used at siege of Petersburg during the Civil War. And they were used effectively during a siege, mostly to keep men's heads down. Then they were used eventually, after the invention of the metallic cartridge, by the U.S. government. While they were still essentially cap and balls, they weren't purchased by the government. But in its 50 caliber configuration, the U.S. government started buying them. Eventually, 45-70 became the caliber of preference for these guns, and they were being used in the American wars in the West. General Custer was offered 2 of them, and he said, no, I don't think I need them. They'll just slow me down. I think there was a point in that day, in 1876, when he would have said, probably should have taken the Gatling guns. They might have changed them. They continued to be used in the West. They were used in some massacres of Indian villages and generally being used by the military. In 1898, Teddy Roosevelt credited his ability to get up San Juan Hill in part to Lieutenant Parker's Gatling gun division, where they had a bunch of these in the trenches. And they would fire them. The Spanish would put their heads down, and that's how Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders were able to advance using what is essentially a modern covering fire tactic, one of the first employments of that tactic in 1898 in the charge-ups with San Juan. Government continued to buy them, but the biggest single purchase that I'm aware of these at one time was the New York Police Department. And they really liked them. They liked big bulldog Gatling guns. They were short, they had a big enclosed thing, the crank was back here, and they could put down riots in the city of New York. They bought a lot of them, they really liked them. Eventually, they became obsolete when Hiram Maxim introduced the Maxim gun into the world. It's no longer using a manual crank to make the gun work. It uses the recoil action. It was truly a machine gun. But this is the father of all machine guns. And even though it became obsolete, it didn't go away entirely. It became the basis for all of the modern Gatling-type guns, as mounted on an A-10 or on Puff the Magic Dragon. All of these modern chain guns that use multiple rotating barrels are directly related to Richard Gatling's 1862 Gatling.